Hello friends, welcome to part 12 of the series, and here we are going to learn about one of the most important hook, which is the UseRef hook. So let's get started. Means the UseRef hook is very important because it allows us to access the DOM nodes, which is sometimes very much required in React. So I am using my old project only, which I am using throughout this series. So let me go ahead and create a new component called as focus input. So we will see the classic example of UseRefs, the focus input. By default, whenever a new app starts, we want the focus to be there in that input box. So that is possible only when you have access to DOM element. So for that we need refs to access the DOM element. So this focus input component, RAFCE. So as you might know, I'm using this plugin for those extension. So RFC I have done. So let me save it. Let me also include it. Focus input. Okay, let me remove this counter, save it, and Control B. We'll have more space, and the focus input is done. So nothing is missing because we are not rendering anything. So for this we will use the use effect. Oh, I don't want this. Use effect, comma UseRef. This new hook is called UseRef, so I'm using UseRef. Okay, so after that let me have an input box in which I want the focus. Okay, so input, just type equal to text. So I want the focus to be here. Let me save it, and we are seeing this input box. I want the, by default, the focus, this thing should come. Okay, so see, when this app load, it doesn't come. I have to go and click it, so I don't want it like this. Okay, so for that, let me create a hook, input ref equal to use ref of null, starting with null, and then in a ref hooks, use ref hook, we have a access to current. So current gives us access to the everything. So current dot focus will give us access to it. Let us see how in example. So use effect. So okay, I will require it. Use effect, I want it to run only once. Okay, I don't want to clean up now. Okay, and input ref, which I have just created, input ref dot current dot focus, and this is a function. So this is like this, and here the main thing is here ref equal to, ref is a keyword, input ref, you can, this is not a keyword, you can take anything, and then this current and focus are again keyword. So input ref I did, and let me refresh it. See, by default it is coming. Let me show again. By default it is coming, so means it is working. So we will again look into the UseRef hook, but for that we will first implement a class based component. So here class timer.js. so we are creating a timer again. So Control P, R C E. I don't want the default export, so I have created this component, and then our const constructor, then timer is 0, a state variable of timer which is 0, and then component did mount will be there, Let me have a class timer here. Class timer is this dot state dot timer. Okay, and component did mount, so it will run only once. Component did mount, just like we did it here. Component did mount this dot interval equal to set interval, the set interval function we are using. Okay, and inside it, not this, inside it another function which will run this dot set state, and we are using the previous state, so it is much better to use the previous state because we want access to the previous state here. So this is another way of using set state. If you want to see, I have YouTube videos on the same, you can check it out in my React series. So previous state dot time. As I always say, it's important to learn class-based component first, then come to functional component. So please go to my React.js series. The link of it will be at the end of the video or somewhere in the video. So please go through it first. Okay, so this is there, and timer is state.timer, and we want to run it after every 1 second. Okay, so every 1 second. So this component did mount will fire only once, but it will fire this set interval timer which will fire every 1 second, every 1 second. So we need to clear this also, so because it's a good practice to clear it. Component with unmount hook we are going to use, and we have a clear interval function also in JavaScript, and this dot interval. So the power of this dot interval will soon see this function of the class. Okay, so save it, but it will not come because it is still showing our old thing. So let me go back, and class timer, it have come, control X, control S, and now timer have started. Okay, so now it's time to create a clear timer also. This is by default, it will run when it will unmount, means when it will go away from the page, but we want a button so that we can run the clear timer ourselves. So let us make that button. So it is very easy to make. We have to run that clear interval through the button. Okay, so clear timer on click equal to clear interval this dot interval. Okay, so it is done. So my clear timer is there, and I click on it, the timer will stop. Okay, so this much, that now replicate the same in a hook based timer. Okay, so for this, hook timer dot js, and doing, and this is RAFCE. Okay, and then here, as usual, I have to do the use effect because I'm running a side effect. So Okay, no, not first useref. We have to see what is the use of useref. So we will first try to do it with use state. Yeah, use state will be there, but we'll try to do it like this, like the normal way. We will change it in a normal way, then we'll see if use ref is required or not. So we'll try to change it in a normal way. Const timer comma set timer equal to use state of 0. Okay, and then here hook timer is timer, so this timer, and now the use effect will run. Okay, so use effect, yeah, we want this now. So cleanup also we want to run it once. So in use effect it is so clean that they give us the cleanup function also here in the return statement. So this we don't have to run two different functions. This component did mod and component will mod. This is the combination of both, because we are running it once and we have a return also here. So this is the power of use effect. So const interval equal to set interval then set timer, the hook which we have just defined. Inside that we are going to do that, and here we were doing it inside this dot set state. Okay, so here we are going to do it inside the set timer, and the priv timer is priv timer plus 1. Okay, and we have to run it for after every 1 second. Return, let me give some gap here, and the cleanup will be like set interval, it will be clear interval, and we have to pass this interval. So this interval which we have created, this we have to pass. Okay, so let me save it. Yeah, and we are done with this timer. Just we have to add it. So let me go here, hook timer. Let's see whether it's work. Yeah, it is working fine. So what's the use of then use ref if it is working fine? Let us see whether our button functionality will also work well. button button. So we then don't require a hook, UseRef hook if our button functionality. Clear hook timer. Okay, on click equal to clear interval. Okay, now it is giving me error that interval is not defined. So interval is not defined because it doesn't exist outside this use effect. I will use const, and so it doesn't exist outside this. And even if I don't use const, if I use the let also, it won't exist outside this. Okay, so how to get hold of this interval? It is very important for us to get hold of this interval. See, we were using it inside only, so there was no issue, but now we are using outside, so it is not working. So how to get that? Yeah, definitely we need a use ref. So use ref, because when it accesses to the DOM level element, so it have got access every time. So const interval ref equal to use ref, and then here instead of this constant interval, what we are going to use interval ref dot current. Okay, and then again interval ref dot current, everywhere wherever we require it, interval ref dot current, and let me save it. Now this timer is also going, this timer is also going, and clear this above timer, and now the moment of truth, this, yeah, it is stopped, so it is working fine. So this is the use of UseRef, and it is a very important hook which you will see a lot of time in real world projects. As in class based also we have this hook system, this ref system. Here also we have this, so it is very important. So hope you liked it. See you soon in the next part.